Have you ever truly paused to consider the intricate inner world of your cat, the silent dialogues they hold with their environment, and with you? We often approach our feline companions with the best intentions, offering food, shelter, and affection, believing we are fulfilling their every need. Yet, beneath the surface of our well-meaning actions, there can be a subtle, almost imperceptible erosion of trust, a quiet fracturing of the bond that, to them, represents safety and security. This isn't about overt cruelty, but rather the unconscious habits and human-centric perspectives that inadvertently chip away at the delicate foundation of their faith in us. Understanding these nuanced interactions is paramount to cultivating a relationship built on genuine respect and mutual understanding. One of the most profound ways we inadvertently undermine a cat's trust is through the sheer unpredictability of their daily lives. Cats are creatures of profound habit, their internal clocks finely tuned to the rhythms of their environment. They thrive on a predictable schedule, consistent mealtimes, regular play sessions, and even the quiet assurance of when their human will be present or absent. When these routines become erratic, food bowls appearing at random intervals, play sessions skipped without warning, or sudden, unexplained changes in our daily patterns, it introduces a deep-seated anxiety into their world. Imagine living in a state where your most fundamental needs and comforts are subject to arbitrary whims. It would be profoundly unsettling, wouldn't it? For a cat, this inconsistency translates into a pervasive insecurity, making them question the reliability of their primary caregiver. This isn't defiance, it's a silent plea for stability, a desperate yearning for the predictable order that assures them their world is safe and dependable. The psychological toll of such unpredictability can manifest in subtle behavioral shifts, from increased withdrawal to stress-induced overgrooming, all indicators of a silent suffering rooted in a lack of consistent reassurance. Another significant breach of trust arises from our tendency to impose physical affection without true consent. We, as humans, often express love through touch, cuddling, holding, and stroking. However, a cat's preferences for physical contact are highly individual and often conditional. Some may tolerate brief embraces, others might enjoy a gentle stroke on their terms, while many prefer to initiate contact themselves. When we repeatedly force physical interaction upon a cat that is clearly signaling discomfort, perhaps by struggling, flattening their ears, or exhibiting a rapidly twitching tail, we are effectively teaching them that their boundaries are irrelevant. This isn't merely an annoyance, it's a violation of their autonomy. Each instance where we override their clear signals reinforces the idea that we are unpredictable and potentially threatening, rather than a source of comfort and safety. They learn to associate our approach with an unpleasant experience, leading them to avoid us, seek refuge, or even resort to defensive aggression. True affection, from a feline perspective, is about mutual respect, granting them the freedom to choose when and how they wish to engage, thereby fostering a bond built on trust, not coercion. The very environment we curate for our cats can also be a silent destroyer of trust, particularly when it fails to meet their intrinsic needs. Cats are inherently territorial, and their sense of security is inextricably linked to the perceived safety and adequacy of their living space. A home lacking sufficient resources, an inadequate number of litter boxes for the household, an absence of elevated perches for observation, or a scarcity of quiet, secure hiding spots, becomes a constant source of stress. When a cat feels perpetually exposed, unable to retreat from perceived threats, be they noisy children, other pets, or even unfamiliar sounds, or is forced to compete for essential resources, their anxiety levels soar. This isn't just discomfort, it's a fundamental challenge to their primal sense of safety. They may begin to view their home, and by extension, their human, as unreliable in providing a secure sanctuary. A truly trusting relationship flourishes when a cat's environment is thoughtfully designed to cater to their innate needs, offering both stimulating engagement and essential refuge. The absence of vertical space, for instance, deprives them of a crucial vantage point from which to survey their territory, leaving them feeling perpetually vulnerable and eroding their confidence in their surroundings. Furthermore, our reactions to their natural, instinctual behaviors can inadvertently shatter their trust. Cats scratch, it's an essential part of their communication and self-care. They climb, they hunt, they vocalize in myriad ways. These are not bad behaviors, they are innate expressions of their feline nature.
Get down from there right now.
When we punish them for scratching furniture, without providing appropriate, appealing alternatives, scold them for bringing in a present, or yell at them for climbing curtains, we are essentially punishing them for simply being a cat.
Meow.
They do not comprehend our human concepts of property or decorum.
No.
What they understand is that their
Absolutely not.
natural
Get that away
impulses
from
are met
me.
with anger, fear, or disapproval
Don't
from their
you dare
primary
do that again.
caregiver. This creates profound
Terrifying
confusion
kiss.
and fear, rather than
Warning.
understanding. A cat consistently reprimanded for instinctual actions will learn to fear their human, to suppress or hide their natural behaviors, and to become wary of interaction. Instead of nurturing a bond based on acceptance and guidance, we inadvertently cultivate one rooted in apprehension and avoidance. The key lies in redirection and understanding the underlying need, rather than punitive measures that only serve to instill fear and erode the delicate fabric of trust. Another subtle, yet profoundly impactful, trust breaker is the failure to promptly recognize and address their health issues. Cats are masters of stoicism when it comes to pain or illness, a survival mechanism honed by millennia of avoiding predator detection. Consequently, they often suffer in silence, exhibiting only the most subtle changes in behavior, a slight decrease in appetite, a minor alteration in litter box habits, or a less enthusiastic greeting. When these nuanced cues are missed, or worse, dismissed as mere quirks, their suffering continues unabated.
Hi,
A
this
cat
is
relies
Sarah. I'm
entirely
calling
on
for
us
the
to
cat.
monitor their
It's
well-being and
Abigail.
seek
She's
professional
huddled in the
help when they are unwell. If they are in prolonged pain or discomfort and we fail to alleviate it, they can begin to associate us with their suffering, or at least with a profound lack of understanding and care. This isn't a conscious thought process on their part, but an instinctive response to a persistent negative state that their human has not resolved. Regular veterinary checkups, meticulous observation of their daily habits, and swift action when something seems amiss are not just about physical health, they are profound acts of trust building, unequivocally demonstrating our unwavering commitment to their welfare and comfort. Finally, perhaps the most insidious way we erode a cat's trust is through a pervasive lack of consistent, positive engagement. It extends beyond merely providing sustenance and shelter. Cats require genuine interaction, mental stimulation, and a profound sense of belonging. When we are perpetually distracted by technology, too busy to engage in a daily play session, or consistently ignore their overtures for attention, we are sending a clear, albeit silent, message: you are not a priority. Cats are intelligent, emotional beings who thrive on connection and purposeful interaction. A consistent absence of positive engagement can lead to profound boredom, loneliness, and a debilitating feeling of being overlooked. They may become withdrawn, exhibit signs of depression, or even resort to destructive behaviors as a desperate plea for attention, even if it's negative. This isn't about constant pampering, but about intentionally carving out dedicated time each day to truly connect, a focused play session with a
Here you
wand
go,
toy,
let's
a
get
quiet
it.
moment of gentle
High.
petting,
Good
or simply
job,
sharing
sweetie.
space while you
You
read
got
or
it.
work. These moments, however brief, powerfully reinforce their value and solidify the bond, assuring them that they are seen, loved, and an integral, cherished part of your life.
You look so cute in this.
Beyond these core areas,
Just one
the
second.
very
Hold still.
human tendency to anthropomorphize, to project our own complex emotions and social structures onto cats,
Okay.
often leads to a cascade of misunderstandings that further erode trust.
Just a little smile back.
We interpret their actions through a human lens, failing to recognize that their motivations and communication methods are fundamentally different. For instance, direct, prolonged eye contact, a sign of connection in human culture, is often perceived by cats as a challenge or a threat. Their equivalent of a friendly gaze is the slow blink, a vulnerable gesture that signifies comfort and trust. When we inadvertently stare, we communicate aggression, fostering unease and defensiveness. This simple, daily interaction, when misread, creates a subtle, persistent barrier, making them wary of our gaze and, by extension, our intentions. It's a constant, low-level stressor that accumulates, fostering apprehension rather than comfort. The nuanced language of feline vocalizations is another area where human misunderstanding can cause significant trust issues. Cats possess a rich repertoire of purrs, trills, chirps, hisses, and growls, each conveying specific emotional states or intentions. When we consistently misinterpret these signals, perhaps
sweetie,
dismissing
it's
a low
alright.
growl as mere
Nothing to worry
grumbling,
about.
or failing to differentiate between a purr of contentment and one indicating discomfort, we effectively tell them that their attempts to communicate are futile. This can lead to profound frustration and a debilitating sense of being unheard. A cat whose voice is perpetually ignored may eventually cease attempting to communicate, retreating into itself, or resorting to more overt, and often less desirable, behaviors to convey its needs. This breakdown in communication is a profound breach
What is
trust,
it? What's
undermining
wrong?
their belief that we are capable of understanding their needs and responding appropriately.
I don't understand.
It's a silent dialogue of missed cues, leaving them feeling isolated in their attempts to connect. The introduction of new elements into their environment without careful preparation is another significant trust eroder. Cats are creatures of routine and territorial stability. A sudden, unmanaged change, a new piece of furniture, an unfamiliar houseguest, a new pet, or even a drastic rearrangement of their familiar space, can be deeply unsettling. When these changes are imposed without gradual introduction, without providing safe havens or opportunities for slow acclimatization, it can trigger immense stress and anxiety. From a cat's perspective, their safe, predictable world has been abruptly altered, and the human who was supposed to be their protector has either caused this disruption or failed to mitigate its impact. This can lead to a feeling of betrayal, as their sense of security is directly linked to the stability of their territory. They may hide, become aggressive, or develop stress-related illnesses. Trust is built on the promise of safety and predictability, and sudden, unmanaged changes can shatter that promise, leaving them feeling vulnerable and distrustful of their human's judgment. Our own emotional states also profoundly impact our cats, often in ways we fail to fully appreciate. Cats are incredibly sensitive to human emotions, picking up on subtle shifts in our tone of voice, body language, and even our physiological state. When we are stressed, anxious, angry, or depressed, our cats often sense this and can become stressed themselves. If our emotional volatility is a consistent feature of their environment, they may begin to associate our presence with negative feelings, leading to apprehension and avoidance. They might become hypervigilant, constantly monitoring our moods, which is an exhausting and anxiety-inducing state for them. This isn't about blaming owners for having emotions, but about recognizing the profound impact our internal world has on our sensitive companions. A calm, consistent human presence fosters a sense of security, while an erratic or emotionally volatile one can create a constant undercurrent of fear and uncertainty, slowly eroding the foundation of trust. They learn to walk on eggshells around us, which is a far cry from the relaxed, confident companion we wish them to be. The subtle art of play, or rather, the mismanagement of play, can also be a silent trust breaker. We often engage in play that is more stimulating for us than for the cat, or that inadvertently teaches them undesirable behaviors. Using our hands or feet as toys during play, for instance, teaches a cat that human body parts are acceptable targets for biting and scratching. While it might seem harmless when they are kittens, it becomes problematic as they grow, leading to painful interactions and a breakdown in the understanding of boundaries. This isn't just about pain, it's about confusion. The cat learns that sometimes it's okay to bite, and sometimes it's not, depending on our mood. This inconsistency creates an unpredictable environment, making them wary of our hands and unsure of the rules of engagement. True trust in play involves using appropriate toys, mimicking natural hunting behaviors, and always ending the session on a positive note, leaving the cat feeling satisfied and successful, not confused or punished. When play becomes a source of mixed signals or discomfort, it undermines the very foundation of joyful interaction and mutual understanding. Furthermore, the failure to provide adequate mental stimulation can lead to a form of emotional neglect that erodes trust. Domestic cats, even those living indoors, retain strong hunting instincts and a profound need for cognitive engagement. A life devoid of opportunities to hunt, through interactive play, explore, or solve simple puzzles can lead to profound boredom and frustration. This isn't just about providing toys, it's about providing enrichment. When a cat is perpetually bored, they may become lethargic, depressed, or engage in destructive behaviors as a way to self-stimulate. From their perspective, their human, who controls their entire world, is failing to provide the necessary outlets for their innate drives.
Do you have something better to do?
This can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction and a subtle resentment, as their fundamental needs for engagement are unmet. A cat that trusts its human believes that its human will provide for all its needs, including its mental and emotional well-being. When this aspect is neglected, the bond weakens, and the cat may become less responsive, less affectionate, and generally less trusting of their human's ability to provide a fulfilling life. It's a silent plea for engagement, often expressed through withdrawal or undesirable behaviors. Ultimately, the silent suffering of a cat whose trust has been eroded is a profound testament to our responsibility as their caregivers. It's a suffering that manifests not in loud cries or dramatic displays, but in subtle shifts in behavior, a less enthusiastic greeting, a tendency to hide, a reluctance to engage in play, a slight tension in their body language, or a diminished purr. These are the quiet indicators of a fractured bond, a relationship that has lost its foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Rebuilding this trust is not a quick fix, it is a journey of consistent, empathetic action. It requires us to step outside our human-centric perspective and truly see the world through their eyes, to understand their unique needs, their ancient instincts, and their delicate emotional landscape. It means becoming fluent in their silent language, recognizing their subtle cues, and responding with patience, kindness, and unwavering respect for their autonomy. Our cats are not just pets, they are sentient beings with complex inner lives, capable of deep affection and profound trust. When we inadvertently betray that trust, we diminish not only their well-being but also the richness of our own lives. The bond with a truly trusting cat is one of the most rewarding experiences a human can have, a quiet companionship, a gentle presence, a source of unconditional comfort. It's a privilege, not a right, to earn their trust. By being mindful of these subtle breaches, by committing to understanding and respecting their feline nature, we can transform our relationships, moving beyond mere coexistence to a profound, unbreakable bond built on mutual respect and unwavering faith. It's a silent promise we make to them, and one they cherish above all else.
Hey there, little buddy.
This commitment to understanding and adapting our behaviors is not just for their benefit, but for ours as well. A cat that feels safe, respected, and understood is a happier, healthier cat, and a source of immense joy and peace in our homes. It's a journey of continuous learning, of observing, adapting, and always striving to be the best possible guardian for these magnificent, enigmatic creatures.